What is up, everyone? Happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans. Appreciate you guys being here. We're going to read through the schedule really quick, and then we're going to check on all the chats. Let me know if you can hear that fan blowing into the microphone. It is deathly hot here, and I don't have air conditioning, so I got fans all on high and all of that. Let me see, what is it supposed to be here today? Drop how hot it is where you are. It says it's 77 right now. It's about to be 82. That means I won't be able to go outside or I'll kick the bucket. It's rough stuff. It's rough stuff. Let me know if the fan is too much on the mic. I can't tell on this side. I don't have headphones. I'm not like those other live streamers out there. Alright, so at 2:30 we got the White House Press Briefing today. I'm going to do my best to show that on YouTube. We have a few different things to show on the alternative platforms because there was tons of news today that just cannot be told on YouTube because they have so many rules over there. So I'm going to actually put the Rumble link and pin it to the top of YouTube. That way you guys will be able to just transfer over when we get to that point. But we'll be starting everything off on YouTube with a video titled Speaker McCarthy. We're never putting a clean debt ceiling on the floor. I don't know a whole lot about the debt ceiling, but you guys are always asking about it, so we're going to show that video. It's a short video. Then we have a video titled Metaverse School teaches students using VR. They're using those Metaverse Oculus headsets to teach kids. I wasn't so sure about it at first, but I don't know, the more I think about it, that might be alright. Might be a way to actually reach kids. We'll see. Then we have a video titled TikTok sues Montana after state bans the app. Even though I don't think that the ban actually goes into effect until January, but TikTok is fighting back. Then we have a video titled U-Haul truck crashes into barriers near White House, which I'm sure all of you have seen, just being on standby for potential terrorist attacks and whatnot. Seems like a big psyop to me. We got the guy's face. We got a photo of him and everything. Then we have a video titled AI Error Leads to College Instructor to Wrongly Accuse Students of Cheating. AI has got everybody running in circles, not knowing what they're supposed to do. Then on the alternative platforms, we have a video titled College Student Details Professor's Attack on the word that means curing you from pregnancy, because I can't say that on YouTube. That word starts with an A. That word. An attack on that display. Somebody was basically saying what's wrong with curing yourself from pregnancy. So we'll be showing that on the alternative platforms. And then we have one titled Whack Job. Somebody freaks out on CNN. Oh, I'm trying to think how to word this. Either way, we got 2 videos for that. And then I got 2 videos that I found on TikTok of a girl who's a university student who is being basically given a 0 on her final because she refers to woman. It's hate speech now. You can't say woman. And I don't know if it's the way she said it or what, but apparently that's not okay, and she's given a 0 on her final exam at a university. I have 2 different videos. They're talking about the same thing, same person, kind of explaining what happened and then explaining a follow-up. I have those videos ready to go. I don't know if those are on YouTube or not. I got them on TikTok, but we'll see how it goes. And then I have a funny video that's kind of funny, but it's kind of not funny. It's a little kid, and he's swearing and stuff. And the way he does it catches you off guard, and it's kind of funny. But honestly, if that was my kid, he got his teeth knocked out of his head. You can't swear until you pay the bills. That's how my mom taught me. So anyways, that's what we're running with today. Let's check on the chat. Everybody in the chat's probably like, dude, your fan is all over that microphone. It's just molesting it. I don't know if we can say that on YouTube. We'll find out. I got my music note back on YouTube. What else happened? They put my music back on my YouTube channel. I'm now seeing more channels that I'm subscribed to. There's more people coming in the chat that I haven't seen in a long time. I've had a strike since February, because when you get a strike, it lasts for 90 days. And mine's been expired since the 14th, but just last night, I got an email notification saying, hey, we put all your stuff back. Try to be good next time. Don't tell too much truth out there on YouTube. And walk a fine line every day, fighting evil. All right, let's see how everyone is doing over here. What's up, everyone on the JeffMAC main channel over here on YouTube? Happy Freedom. What's up, Robert? What's up, Anthony? What's up, RS? What's up, Diane? What's up, Adrian? What's up, JT3? What's up, GQ? What's up, Mr. Satan? Happy Freedom. Let's see. Oh, Fed Now. What is it? 2 months. We got 2 months till Fed Now starts. What's up, T. Lawton? What's up, Linda? What's up, Salty Ragu? What's up, Tobaccoles? What's up, Snooks? Happy Freedom, you hooligans. What's up, Coin Dragon? I done did the thing. I appreciate it. What's up, Matthew? Appreciate you being here. What's up, 24/7? What's up, Salty Sabbath? You can hear it. Matthew says he can't hear it. We're somewhere in the middle so far. Oh, Salty Sabbath. Oh, yeah, you could probably hear it if you got headphones. This microphone is connected to an Avid Fast Track Duo, which is like a $400 interface. Studio microphone, studio cables, and it connects USB. So yeah, you probably can hear the fan if you got a headset on, especially if you got good headphones, because this should be picking up full spectrum. You heard what I said. Let's see. Just reading through the chat. What's up, Whispers of Chaos? Happy Freedom. What's up, Paul? What's up, C Bravo? No AC, but a fan will do. It's 76. Yeah, it's so hot. It's hot. Well, they tripled my electric bill, so now I'm scared to even have them come here and put an air conditioner in. They're going to charge me $150 to come cut a hole in my wall to hang the air conditioner in the wall because they don't want me to hang it in the window. I don't know why. It has something to do with their insurance, and I don't have $150. And after my electric bill being $165 when it's normally $65, I'm stuck between a hot place and a rock. It's not good. It's not good. What's up, Crackshot? What's up, Tia? What's up, Raja? Happy freedom. What's up, no mandates? Fan is fine. Appreciate the feedback, you guys. What's up, Big Weave? What's up, Shannon? Appreciate you guys being here. Are we playing the game later? Yes, we'll be playing the game later. I don't think we're going to play it on the main channel, though. I think we're going to be playing on the gaming channel only. More than half the people on Twitch left. They're like paying subscribers. They left. That didn't start until I started playing the game. So I think that really hurt Twitch. And then I'm still losing 65 people a day on YouTube. I don't know if that's because of the video game or what. God forbid I have any fun in my life. So we may be playing the game only on the gaming channel. I already have a bot set up on Gilded, so when we go live, everyone will be notified. If you're on Gilded and you do not want to be notified about when we go live with the game, go into the We Are Live tab, find the gaming channel bot. You'll see an announcement bot. It'll say we're live, and it'll say JeffMAC Gaming. Mute the bot, either block them or whatever. That's the only way you're going to be able to get away without seeing every time we go live with video games. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get there. That's later today, but we will be playing the game no matter what. I think we're going to play Fallout because we played Warzone Saturday, I think. Last time I think we played Warzone, so we're going to play Fallout tonight. What's up, Grey Wolf? Happy freedom. What's up, Annette? Appreciate you being here. Alright, what's up everyone on the JeffMAC live YouTube channel? What's up, Birdmain? What's up, one for the team? Happy freedom, hooligans. Make sure you guys are racking up those likes, more hooligans. What's up everyone on Twitch? Appreciate you being here. What's going on with Kick? Nobody watches on Kick, but I keep gaining followers, so that's cool. I don't know how that works, but alright, I'm cool with it. What's up everyone on Odyssey? Where is everyone at? Where is everybody at on Odyssey? Maybe Odyssey's not running correctly. What's up everyone on Rumble? I'm gonna grab this link and we're gonna post it over on YouTube because I think we got more stuff to show on Rumble and all the non-YouTube platforms than we do on YouTube. It's not my fault. Their rules are just so extreme. And, you know, I can't help what's in the news. Can't help it. Oh, I should probably add that that's Rumble or nobody will know what it is. There we go. There we go. Now I'm doing the thing. Raja, fans are good. I would lay butt naked in front of an air conditioner until my ballies grew icicles right now. I am sweating to death. Sweating to death. I'm looking for frozen nuggets. I don't get too cold, but I get too hot. Debacles, I need to make a Kick. I like Kick, but I wish more people used it. I like it. I think it's smooth. I like that it's fairly free speech. I like that it's green. It's cool looking. It's just, I don't know if there's actually real people over there. It seems like everyone's bots. What's up, Gidgy? Happy freedom. We're going to go ahead and get this first one started. Speaker McCarthy, we're never putting a clean debt ceiling on the floor.
Progress, but we didn't. We productive, but not progress.
Mr. Speaker, as you get closer to this deadline, if you still don't have a deal, is there any scenario where you would do a clean up or down increase on the debt limit?
A clean debt ceiling? No.
That's
No.
not what you want, but if you're
No.
May 31st.
No, let me be clear. No, we're never putting a clean debt ceiling on the floor. You want to know why? It's like having a child, giving them a credit card, and every single time they hit the limit, you just raised it. To now you owe more money on the credit card than you make in an entire year. Because that's what we have as Americans, that we owe more than our entire economy is. So when are you going to change the direction? We've passed the bill. We have the ability to do this. You don't have to worry because we have a bill over on the Senate side that they can pass that raises the debt ceiling. We can get this job done now. I don't think it's productive for anybody to keep kicking the can down the road. And let me just tell you, for every new American that's so excited, that was blessed today by having a new child, by kicking that can down the road, that child got a $94,000 bill today, and they've only been alive one day. That is wrong. And that has got to stop.
Speaker McCarthy, is an increase to defense, veterans, and Department of Homeland Security, border security still a demand for you?
Look, all I've said from the very beginning, we need to spend less than we spent this year. Is that hard to do?
So how do you
No.
know when you spend more on other things? If that's
Just
still-
like every other household. Let me explain it to you, okay? We need to spend less, but what have we spent when the Democrats have been in power? They've increased spending, especially on discretionary, by more than 20%. We are spending more than at any other time. Then if you want to look at it from a point of GDP, we are now more than 24% of GDP spending, when on a 50-year average we're at 21%. So how do you do it? We're going to do it like every single household does it. They're going to make a decision on what's the most important, but they're not going to be able to spend so much more. So we're going to make a decision, just as Republicans and Democrats together. We're going to find a baseline that we agree to that will be less than what we spent this year, and appropriators are going to sit together and prioritize what's right. Do you think it's right that we would spend and leave money, billions of dollars out there for COVID, that we appropriated for 2 years and they never spent and the pandemic's over? What about bringing that money back? What about helping people get back into the workforce so they pay into Social Security and Medicare? I don't think it's right to take from a hardworking taxpayer and go borrow from China to pay an able-bodied person with no dependents to sit on a couch. I think it's more productive. Yes.
Thank you. Beyond the top line numbers, have you
Well, I like the analogies because they help me understand what he was talking about, but I don't know much about the debt ceiling because they all lie. So even in the few times I've actually heard him say, oh, you know, we ran out of money or whatever, and then they shut the government down for 2 weeks, I didn't notice a difference. It didn't change anything in my life, so I don't know. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to that. It's a bunch of distractions to me. I guess it matters. I've seen some people on TikTok crying real hard about it, saying like, oh no, what are we going to do? But I don't know. After so many false flags and stuff, you kind of just want to see the dominoes fall. You just want to see the card house fall apart and just be like, it did it this time. They meant it this time. I don't know. I don't want bad things to happen. Don't get me wrong, but it's like every day the sky is falling, and it's like, well, is it going to fall one day? Like, and is that day going to be soon? Because we did a lot of preparation waiting for the sky to fall, and it's like, you know, it ain't happened yet. So I don't know. I don't know. What's up, big chap? Happy Freedom. What's up, Blue Crow? What's up, Mike? Let's see. C Bravo. Virginia still requires compliance clause. See, and I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it. I knew that he said that at the end of the video, and I didn't see the blue banner at the bottom, because when you see big channels, Forbes and Fox, they get these blue banners on the bottom. That means if you're not 1 million subscribers deep, you're getting a strike, and then you're being hung out to dry in front of everybody. And so I was like, well, we're gonna risk it, because I only got like 5 videos I'm able to show today, because there's so many rules on YouTube. So I risked it. Hopefully we'll survive it. I feel bad for the people in Virginia. Let's see. 24/7. Since the individual debt is $94,000, should my bank account have at least that much in it? Yeah, who could afford $97,000, $94,000? Doll hairs. Yep. Miss Jamie, it's true. It's true. They're worried about spending too much money until it's time to throw money overseas. They don't have money to shut down the border. They got money to pay other people in other countries. It makes no sense. What's up, Super Chad? Happy Freedom. Raja, good to know you can give your kids credit cards. I would never. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Kids are socialists until they get grown. They don't know any different. They're like, you know, little commies. They're like, bite, bite. You're like, no, this is my sandwich. They're like, bite, bite. And you're like, here's a bite. One for me, one for you. You just got to be a good dictator until they get old enough to go to work, and then you can turn them into, you know, to free individuals, responsible adults and whatnot. You guys crack me up. Coin Dragon, looks like they gave satellite phones to all the senators. Let's see. I think something cyber something is coming. Yeah, oh, I do too. I do too. When I'm seeing these big companies saying that I can't log on because they're experiencing a cyber attack, no, that's not normal. That's not something common. And hacking and all that is grown exponentially because of AI and its contribution to all of that. I don't know. Something might be coming. I can't remember what happened. That I read something that said that they gave all the senators satellite phones, but I don't remember why. I don't remember. Oh yeah, because they lost like 50,000 tons of a chemical or something like that, and the chemical is dangerous and it's used for explosives or something, and they just lost it. They don't know what happened to it. The train took it somewhere or something. They're like, yeah, that'll be okay. By the way, here's a satellite phone for you, bud. I'm like, okay. All right. I was going to buy a satellite phone when things were really crazy, but they only work outside. They only work if you stand outside. If you're inside the building, it doesn't work. If you go outside where it's dangerous, how bad do you want to make that phone call? So it's like, I don't know. There's a lot to it. I was going to get one, and then there wasn't enough of an emergency to go purchase one. Big chat, put your light bill in your youngest child's name. My younger siblings, their mom did that, and by the time they were 18, their credit was destroyed. They had so many bills in their names. I don't even know how people do that. People are always worried about birth certificates and social security numbers. Meanwhile, you can ruin your child's credit before they're old enough to feed themselves. I don't know how any of that works. I've never practiced scamming the system, so I don't know a whole lot about it. Jay Breeze, USPS tracking system has been down for 3 days. That's interesting. I haven't heard that. That's interesting. Coin Dragon, ammonium nitrate. Yeah. They said it was a lot. It just went missing. I don't know. Salty Ragu, you think you're getting a call back? Come on, man. Hit you up on the satellite phone like we're living out in Iraq? Why not? And I had time to invest in some ham radios and CBs. Yeah, I don't know what I got. I got, one of those little Bowfigs or whatever. I've never used it. I got it programmed, though, to all the local channels. I'm just worried I'm going to hit that button and then get a knock at my door like, hey, you ain't got no license to be using that. We're going to put you in jail. Here's a compliance cloth. That's my worst fear, is having to be incarcerated and then having them force me to wear a compliance cloth the entire time I'm incarcerated. I don't know if I'll make it out. Let's see. Mike, what is a Starling phone? Sounds familiar. I don't know why though. What's up, Mercy Rain? Happy freedom. Tobaccolis, we should throw down on a hooligan vault. What vault number should we use? That's interesting. We should. It should. Who's gonna be the overseer though? That's where things get weird. We'll have to take turns. Mike, Jeff's still using a flip phone. I know I'll bust that Razor out. You guys remember those Razor flip phones? I remember when those were the coolest, and I never even got one. I wanted one, but I couldn't afford it. They were like, I don't know, $300 or something. Now phones cost more than a car does. Get a new iPhone, only cost you $2,500. I'm like, what? That thing better be bulletproof. It's not. It's not. It's made of glass, and you drop it and it shatters on the front and the back. Like, good Lord. What's up, Cecil? Happy freedom. What's up, Mr. Beansy Beans? Appreciate you being here. I just messed my mouse up. Might have to buy another one, but that's what I get for buying $7 mouses. What's up, Red Bear? Appreciate you being here on Kick. Pumpkin, when did we move to Iraq? Once old man Walter took hold of us like cancer. What's up, Golf Coach? Happy freedom. What's up, Screaming Eagle? What's up, Amanda? Oh, let's see. What's up, Cassandra? What's up, Tin Man? Appreciate you guys watching over on jeffmaclive.com. We're going to go ahead and start this next video. It's titled Metaverse School Teaches Students Using VR. interesting concept. There may be music in this, so I might have to leave the beats on, just so you're aware.
Would you send your kids to this metaverse school, where pupils don't just learn about planets, they play with them?
Okay, that Saturn is way too big.
And they don't just read about hearts, they enter them.
And you can see the flow of blood through it, and you can understand the chambers and the valves. It's literally walk through a heart.
Redham House School in England is trialling teaching children in the metaverse, using VR headsets to dive deeper into the subjects they're studying.
We've used virtual reality across every subject as part of our pilot for virtual reality. Some of the most impressive things we can do are science experiments that would otherwise be impossible or too dangerous to do in a classroom.
Saskia and Alex are metaverse.
Can British people now say virtual reality?
From science to history, art and geography.
It was really cool how I got to kind of put the heart in a different place, because if you were in a normal classroom, you can't do that.
Because in a normal classroom, if I went up to a human heart, I wouldn't go anywhere near it.
Yeah, no,
But in the metaverse, in the classrooms, it's like you're not holding anything, but you actually are.
Because the digital version of Redham House School is a virtual location, the lessons are accessible for students anywhere in the world. The Metaverse School is being developed by Inspired Education Group. Nathan O'Grady is project lead.
But we can also use it in subjects like geography to have an instantaneous field trip anywhere in the world. We've used it in history to go back in time, experience things like World War II from the ground, and understand what those atmospheres were like.
We were doing a space topic, and that was perfect. So we learned about the solar system, planets, what's a star, what's a satellite. That's a good setting. The retention is fantastic. Once they've seen something, they'll remember it. And there's a deeper understanding because they can manipulate an object, they can see it from all sides, they can see how it works, they can see the function. And so they really get a deeper, better understanding.
We're here in front of the incredible building at Redham House, Berkshire, the school that's been used as the inspiration for Inspired Education to create their Metaverse School. The Metaverse School is a digital twin, an exact copy of this building in virtual reality that brings together students from all around the world to be taught in virtual reality. So 84 different schools in 24 different countries.
Well, what do you guys think? Should we have VR schools? I feel like their budget should be less. If they're just gonna put video games on all the kids' heads and stuff, then why do they get so much money? And then think about how the things they're teaching, like the stuff that Ron DeSantis is pulling out of school. Imagine if they were learning that digitally. The images and things they would see that parents would never know about. They would never know what your kid is witnessing. It just happens over a headset. I don't know. Snooks no to VR in schools. I thought it was kind of interesting when they were talking about how they had the students talking about if there was an actual heart in the classroom and they were to open up the heart and look at all the whatever chambers and whatnot, that they would be less likely to participate because it's gross. But to do it digitally, they were able to kind of see how things work and still learn stuff without having to worry about being grossed out. And I remember kids taking a zero and stuff when we had to dissect frogs in junior high and cut them open and pin them down and all that stuff. And I remember kids being like, no, I'm not doing it. And they would take a zero and fail the class and all that stuff. And if it was done digitally, they probably would have participated. But I worry about the bad stuff. If they were teaching inappropriate things to kids, how do you obtain that? How do you go to school and say, well, let me see what's in the book? Or, show me the packet that you handed out to all the kids. My kid said, came home and said, oh, these bad things were said and shown and whatever, show me. And they're going to you think they're going to hand you a $400 headset and be like, yeah, put this on, we'll show you? Probably not. They'll probably just defend it and just say, oh, well, it wasn't that bad. Your kid's sensitive and a bigot. And so, yeah, like, I don't know. I could see the good, but I don't know that the good actually outweighs the bad. And I could see this going back to at-home learning. They're going to be like, all right, here's your headset. Go sit at the house. Sit in your bedroom with your headset on, just staring at the wall. I seen someone say something about school shootings. Everybody in the classroom's basically blind and deaf with the headset on. How would that scenario go? But I've played kind of a Warzone style game in full virtual reality. And when you turn to look at your buddy, because there's like a 4-man team, there's 4 of us in real life, we were all playing together. And when you look in their direction, you can actually see them digitally standing there. I mean, they obviously don't look like themselves, but you could see them. So I imagine if you were all sitting there as a class together and then all the students start running in one direction, you'd be like, something's going on. Pull the headset off. I mean, it's terrible that we even got to consider what would happen with that. But I don't know. If we're going to be teaching kids with video games, I know teachers don't get paid enough, but maybe this will come down to where their pay rate is. I don't know. It's a hard one for me to figure. I can see the good and the bad. Miss Jamie, the smell of formaldehyde from the frogs gagged me. I got in trouble for doing too much. Screwing around too much. They're like, you're supposed to dissect the frog, not cut it into pieces. And I was like, I don't know what you want me to do here. Give me an A, let me go. Just let me go. Let's see. Salty ragu, they cut that frog up good. Yeah, see? That was me in school. I mean, I wasn't eager, but once they forced me to do it, I was like, okay, you want me to do this. This is how I'm going to do it. You push me to do something I don't want to do. This is how it goes. Matthew, breeding snowflakes. Yeah, that's part of the downside. If everybody can only handle things digitally and you can't handle stuff in real life, what are you going to be when you grow up? Like, what are you going to be? You can't be a carpenter if you're scared to hammer some nails. Like, you can't do a lot of jobs if you're scared to use power tools. Definitely can't be a doctor or an EMT if you're scared of blood or if you're scared to get your hands dirty. So it's definitely bringing up softies if all they do is learn through VR. That's true. Let's see. Raja, is all the schools actually live? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They could just sit in their bedroom if they're going to go to school and play video games. Space Baby, the global brainwashing would be epic. Yeah, and I was thinking, what if they combine the Oculus headset with that stuff that the WEF was talking about, where they put something to your temple and it can scan your thoughts. So while you're experiencing this, the teacher has a device scanning your thoughts, saying who's paying attention, who's not, who's being distracted in class, and who's not. I actually seen that in China, I think it is, they're already doing that. I seen a video on TikTok where they were saying, oh, it's so crazy, China has these headbands that puts things on the side and on the front of your head and it scans your thoughts, and the teachers can tell when somebody's not paying attention in class. And I was like, wow, that's really crazy. But the video wasn't in context, it was in bits. And so I searched it on YouTube, found the video, the whole video, and it's actually 3 years old. So, like, who knows what they have now? But if they take that virtual reality and then they take the brain reading software, we're right there. We're right there. We're almost remote control humans at this point. They're going to log us in and we're going to forget we're in the metaverse, just like on that South Park episode. Just going to be locked in. Like the scientists say, that might be what we're doing right now. That this all may not be real. This is just high-tech virtual reality. And this advancement of technology that we're experiencing right now is just to prepare us to realize we're already in a simulation that we were not aware about. They say there's a 50-50 chance. I seen Elon Musk talking about it. It's a 50-50 chance that life as we know it is just a simulation that's too advanced for us to get out of. That's crazy. But I think a lot of that is just line blurring. Like the way they talk about planets, the way they say dinosaurs never existed. Half the dinosaurs we were taught as kids, they say those dinosaurs are inaccurate. It's not even how dinosaurs actually are. They all look like chickens. Like, I don't know what's what anymore. They say space isn't real. It's like, I don't know. I don't believe anything at this point. I think it's all fake. It's all fake. I'm real. I just sit here in my house with my probably simulation cat, and I'm just like, I'm real. I know that I'm real. What's up? Here's what? Happy freedom. Firmest teachers are total losers. I don't know. I think there's good teachers, but I think there's a lot of teachers who just become teachers because of control. The same way a lot of officers become officers because they got bullied as kids and they wanted to have the authority to tell everybody what to do. You know, there's good people and bad people and everything, but I don't know. Saltarigu, someone messed up my program. I know what I'm saying. This is not the simulation I signed up for. I did not know. Miss Jamie, I'm sure it is. I'm sure they pass so much crazy stuff. Like we were talking about the TikTok ban in Montana. And everybody's like, yeah, ban TikTok, Montana, you're awesome. You don't have TikTok anymore. That's great. But then I was like, do you guys realize they banned Telegram too? And then everybody's like, what? What do you mean? Yeah, that's the whole TikTok ban thing is a scam. It's a scam. They are censoring us on the internet more than they already have because they don't like that we are resourceful and we find ways to communicate with each other using phrasing and stuff that they can't track. They can't track it. We come up with new phrases and stuff to be able to pass information between each other every single day. And no matter how many community guidelines they write, we'll still come up with new things. They don't like that. So now they're just trying to take stuff away. And they can't control TikTok because TikTok's controlled by China. So the things they're trying to censor us from, they can't censor it on TikTok. So we're able to communicate on there about things that are happening here because China doesn't care about that stuff. They just care about harvesting our information. So now they're trying to ban TikTok, but they want to ban Telegram too. And so they call it the TikTok ban, but then they ban apps that are from foreign countries. So it's like you're losing this list of apps. So you don't realize it because you're too busy cheering about losing TikTok. They trick us all the time to be excited to take stuff away from us. And it's kind of sad how often it works. What's up, Melvita? What's up, Jeremiah? Happy freedom. Matthew, you seen the headsets in China? I need to find it so I can play it for you guys on the live. I found it and I chose not to because the video was so old. But the more videos like this that we're sharing, the more that stuff is relevant. Because when I showed the WEF and their brain scanning stuff that they were talking about, how it's going to hit the workforce first. So when you are at work, your boss will be monitoring everyone's thoughts to know it. Are you working? Are you critically thinking? Are you lusting over another employee? Have you ever committed a crime? Are you considering committing a crime? What crimes have you committed? And they were talking about being able to see the images you form in your head. And everybody's like, that's not real. That's not real. Well, in China, they've been doing it for 3 years. So like now I'm even more inclined to believe that kind of technology does exist. To some degree, I doubt it's as perfect as they try and sell it. But still, that's like a scary thought. Because that eventually will turn into hallways and thresholds. You walk through a threshold and they're just going to scan your nugget and they're going to know everything that's in your head. They're going to know what you're doing, and then they're going to say it's in the name of security. Oh, we'll be able to catch terrorists getting on planes and stuff like that because they scan their brain waves and we can tell that they're here to do bad things. That's how it starts. And then pretty soon they're going to do it in school. They'll do it at your job. They'll have it at your house, at your apartment complex. There's like, it's control. They're here to control us. What's up, Ted? Happy freedom. Space baby, skilled trade is the way to go. It's true. It is true. It's going to be one of the few things that AI is not really going to interfere with. Yeah, Miss Jamie, the frog was disarmed. I don't know. And then the teacher comes over and they're like, you want me to fail you? I'm like, I did what you told me to do. You wanted me to cut the frog? I cut the frog like it owed me money. And they're like, get out of here. Damn hooligans. Teachers used to hate me in school. I don't blame them. I was naughty. Let's see. Matthew, seen them both? Yeah. Thank you so much, Genius by Birth, for gifting 5 memberships over on YouTube. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. If you guys are picking up one of those gifts from Genius by Birth, make sure you thank them. That stuff is not free. let's see. Viking Vet, Minority Report. Yeah, we're moving into a situation that's like Minority Report mixed with Demolition Man. Like, you just put those movies together, that's like 2024, 2025, us. That's how it's going to be. Unless something crazy happens. Which it will, because you know what's happening in 2024. So there will be crazy stuff to happen. I just don't know what yet. That's what's exciting. That's what's exciting. What are we going to cover on the live when we get closer to 2024? Probably fire. Probably fire in the street. Robert, frog legs are tasty. They're all right. I don't know. I eat them every once in a while when I go to Red Walk in Muskegon. They're okay. They're okay. I almost eat them just for the novelty to tell other people that I've ate it, and they can go, "That's gross," and I go, "Yeah, I did it." And it's just, I don't know. It doesn't have much of a taste. It kind of tastes like turtle tank. The way like fish tanks smell, that's kind of the way frog legs taste to me. What's up, Roy? Happy freedom. What's up, Jeff D? Appreciate you being here. Eric says, if you get a free membership, you think genius or else you suck. It's true. People are really good about that, though, because even after we're not live anymore, people will comment under the video and say, hey, I don't know who gave me a membership, but thank you so much. And I think that's really awesome that people are that considerate to even, put out gratitude after we're not even live anymore. So, like, that's, there's still good people in the world. There's still reason for hope, I believe. Easy. I'm on day 3 of no cigs. Proud of you. That's so awesome. Stick with it. If you can make it a week, you can make it a month. If you can make it a month, you're done. You're done. I'm telling you. I smoked 2 packs a day, Marlboro Reds, for 7 years. Especially as a child. I started when I was 14 because everybody would buy me cigarettes. They didn't care. They all smoked cigarettes. It was either you bought me a pack or I was smoking your cigarettes, and that's how it was. And I was hardcore, and when I didn't get one, I was putting my hands through drywall like my name was Kyle, being an angry person and whatnot. And I told myself, you got to tell everybody that you quit. Every person you see, tell them you quit, because when you go outside, when they go outside and you're like, hey, let me bum a smoke off you, they're like, what? I thought you quit. And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I quit. Because that's the biggest hang up, is you forget. And it's so involved in your life. If you can make it a week, you can make it a month. If you make it a month, you're done. And just keep telling yourself that. I wish you the best, Easy. That's so awesome. There's so many people that can't quit and who don't even try. So it's exciting to me to see that, to see people take control of their life. I think that's awesome. Let's see. Thank you so much, Snooks, for gifting 10 memberships over on YouTube. I appreciate everything you do, Snooks. Thank you. What's up, Hair Juicer? Let's see. Last half of the workday. Summer camp starts Thursday. That's awesome, Hair Juicer. Thank you for being here. Hope the rest of your day goes smoothly at work. What's up, Christy? Oh, it's not gross. It's not gross. Salty Sabbath. Musty Turtle Tank. Yeah, see, I don't know. Maybe I'll just hold it off. There's a lot of things that smell like Turtle Tank. I'll just let it go. It's only Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. We'll keep it cool on a Tuesday. What's up, Crystal Blue? Happy freedom. Thank you so much, Viking Vet, for continuing the membership program for 10 months. You're officially a hooligan, and I appreciate you. Thank you. My simulation character is broken. I want a refund. This isn't the skin I asked for. I wanted to get a new kind of Fortnite skin. Oh, that reminds me, I actually need to log into Fortnite so I can see the skin that Serum sent me. I haven't done that yet. I need to do that. There's always something on my to-do list. Hair Juicer smoking a red right now. Yeah, I was like, I can't say this on the live, but I was like back to back. I'd smoke a Marlboro Red 100 and then light the next one with it. I don't know. I was trying to kick the bucket hard. I was like, I want to catch cancer today. I don't know. Not good. Not good. Quit the cigarettes. They're gross. What's up, Tara? Happy freedom. Let's see. Looking. Thank you so much, Viking Vet, for gifting 10 memberships over on YouTube. You're awesome, Viking Vet. Thank you. Thank you. It's awesome. What's up, Melba? Happy freedom. July will be 2 years for me. That's awesome. That is awesome. When did I quit? I quit when I turned 21. I'm 34 now. So this last March, if I do the math and I carry the 1, right, 13 years. It's been 13 years since I quit smoking. Haven't smoked a cigarette since. I smoke a cigar every once in a while, but I'm not inhaling the cigar. I don't do it every day. It's just every once in a while. Just for something, for fun. Thank you so much, Genius by Birth, for gifting 5 more memberships over on YouTube. You're awesome. Thank you, Genius by Birth. Christy, nicotine helps my brain. They're using nicotine to help Alzheimer patients. Yeah, I noticed a difference when I quit, but it's for the better. Like, just getting away from the cigarette smell and ashes all over my desk and all that stuff. Just in my car always had ashes all over the place. There's a lot of people who try to use vape pens and stuff to stop smoking, but that's a scam. That stuff is a scam because you're taking direct nicotine and they don't even know what that does to you. When you smoke cigarettes, it has combustion and does all this other stuff, and they try and say, well, it's not the nicotine that's causing health problems, it's all the other stuff that's in it. But then when you get this vape juice stuff, it says right on there this product is known to cause cancer and stuff. It's not just because it's California or because they put that sticker on everything in California, but they don't actually know what this will do to you. So 20-30 years from now, you're gonna have super cancer or something, and you'll be like, well, I quit cigarettes for vape thinking I was doing a good thing. But really, it's the other direction. It's very bad for you. And it has the same product they put in makeup. I can't think of what it's called right now. But the liquid part of it is the same stuff they put in makeup. So you're smoking makeup ingredients on top of cancer-causing nicotine. Jeremiah says, keep going. Cigarettes are horrible. I agree. Reading through the chat really quick. I don't want to race through this too fast because it's like 50-50. We got half the stuff we can show on YouTube and we got the other half of stuff that I can't show on YouTube. So the faster I go through it, the faster we're going to run out of things to show on YouTube. Christy, it helps me think and focus. Yeah, I just had to find alternatives. Yeah, Salty Sabbath, propylene glycol. Yep. Right there. You got it. It's not good for you. Fairy, fetal tissue. That's what's in the jab. That's why that stuff is a sin, because it's delete his fetus in your body forever. You could never get rid of that sin. Roy, I'm smoking a cig right now. Here's the second one in the chat to say that. All right, we got to get off the cigs or we're gonna end up causing a relapse here. Not for me, but anybody else that's trying to quit. We want them to quit. Plus, it saves you so much money. When I quit, when I quit, we called them squares, and I don't even think anybody calls them squares anymore. But when I quit smoking squares, it was like $4.50 a pack, and like now I think it's close to $7. It's like I couldn't even afford to be addicted to that. What's up, Tom? Tom, I've been smoking for 18 years. Your addiction is an adult. Not old enough to drink, but it's considered an adult. Grey Wolf, I quit smoking like 15 years ago. That's awesome. Snooks, I don't know where everybody is. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Odyssey. Normally we have like 8 or 9 people that are just totally committed to Odyssey. I don't know what's going on with that. Pumpkin, we lost our explosives. We lose a lot of stuff. Yeah. And then we're going to see something happen. And then the government's going to go, I wonder how that happened. This building just exploded all over the place. I wonder how that happened. Well, I don't know. Keep better track of your stuff. It's all planned. It's all planned. Nothing happens by accident. If the IRS can track every dollar you make and spend, they can figure out, where explosives are going and stuff. They do that stuff strategically. Tam, yeah, asking me about that. Yeah. See, we're all on top of things. We just don't know where it's going. Pumpkin, the metaverse. Yeah, isn't it interesting how Facebook is making their way into school? Because that's who owns the Oculus Rift, which is the headset. Well, I don't know if it's the Rift. It's probably called something else now. That was before Facebook owned it. But now they own that headset, which is the Oculus, and then all the virtual reality, which is the metaverse, that's also owned by Facebook. So if the more schools that participate in that metaverse, virtual learning, whatever, the more Facebook is in schools. And we already know how Facebook does things. Plus, Facebook is putting like millions of dollars up for lobbyists, through lobbyists, to push the TikTok ban federally. The nationwide TikTok ban, that's funded by Facebook, by Mark Zuckerberg. Let's see. So this next video is titled "TikTok Sues Montana After State Bans App."
TikTok is suing to block.
Hold up.
TikTok is suing to block the U.S. state of Montana from banning the company's short video app. The company filed lawsuit on Monday, arguing the ban, which is set to take effect next January 1st, violates First Amendment rights of the company and users. It said the ban is unconstitutional and is preempted by federal law because it intrudes upon matters of exclusive federal concern and violates the Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution. In other words, it alleges that the state has overreached by violating the parts of the Constitution that limit state powers. Montana issued the ban last week, which makes it unlawful for Google and Apple app stores to offer TikTok within the state. TikTok will be fined $10,000 each time it breaches the ban, but individual users are spared from the penalties. It is not clear how the ban will be enforced. The state's governor said the move was to, quote, protect Montanans' personal and private data from the Chinese Communist Party. TikTok, which is owned by Chinese tech company ByteDance, amassed more than 150 million users in the U.S. In recent years, however, it faced growing calls from officials and concerned groups to ban the app nationwide over concerns about potential Chinese government influence over the platform. Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen, who is charged with enforcing the law, was named in TikTok's lawsuit. A spokesperson for Knudsen said the state was ready for lawsuits and it's, quote, fully prepared to defend the law. Last week, 5 TikTok users in Montana also filed a lawsuit in federal court seeking to block the state's ban.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. The ban doesn't take effect until January, and they said on that video and the last video that we showed, same thing. They keep saying, well, we're prepared. We're prepared. Snooks, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Yeah, they said that they're prepared to do these legal battles and whatnot. I don't know. I wonder what other apps Montana's going to lose, because it's anything that's, I think, outside of the continent. I don't think it's necessarily outside of the country, but any app that has servers that are outside of the continent is getting banned. Telegram is one of them. So everybody in Montana will be restricted from using Telegram. Let's see. What's up, Mr. Average? Happy freedom. What's up, Glimmer of Freak? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Gabby? What's up, Patriot Operator? Sounds like small government freedom. Yeah, I think it's interesting how ByteDance is trying to fight back using the Constitution and all that stuff. It's just weird to me because you're not constitutionally protected on these apps. You don't have freedom of speech and stuff. As soon as you log into the internet, you do not have freedom of speech anymore. Your constitutional rights are exempt as long as you're online. So for them to be like, well, we're going to try and use the Constitution so we can still be here and do whatever we want with your information, even though while you're on the platform, you don't have any constitutional rights. I feel like that's bold. That's bold. Tabacles, Newport 100s take me to flavor country. Didn't they ban Newports? Or is that just a Michigan thing? I can't remember now. Eric, never been on TikTok or Twitter. It's all garbage to me. See, and those are actually the most advanced social media apps. That's where all the breaking news is. Everything else, it just rains down. It starts on TikTok, then it goes to Twitter, then it goes to YouTube, then it goes to Instagram, then it goes to Facebook. So for people who are only on Facebook, you're getting old information big time, and all the way up the chain. Even on YouTube, a lot of the stuff you see, like how many videos do you see that have the TikTok badge on it? A lot, because most of those videos start on TikTok. But I don't know. You got to dig through a lot of trash before you find anything that's worthwhile. I don't know what I'm hearing, but it sounds like there's somebody outside my front door. If I have to get up, I'm not going to be real nice. Let's see. Sinna, hemp cigs aren't bad. What do you mean, like smoking the devil's cabbage over there on the devil's lettuce? Or is there actually hemp cigarettes? Tom Nick. Only on the weekends. Sinna, remember the South Park episode reading the EUAs? Yeah. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's like Cartman sitting there and he clicks, yeah, I agree. And then like SWAT team kicks his door in and stuff. It's Apple or something. He's like, what are you doing? They're like, we're taking you. He's like, taking me where? They're like, you just agreed to this. Yep. Sinna is just hemp. Oh, I didn't know they made hemp cigarettes. I thought you were referring to smoking the reefer. Roy. Oh, it's menthol cigarettes that are banned, not Newport specifically. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Twitter has so many trolls, but that's where all the breaking news is. Because it's almost uncensored. You can see all kinds of terrible things on Twitter. You can watch all kinds of stuff on Twitter. I don't know how people get banned on Twitter. I don't know how it happens. It's easy to get banned on Twitter, or the people who are posting adult content, snuff content, bad stuff. I don't know if they're just doing it the right way, or if saying stuff is actually worse than showing videos of dogs getting beat to death and stuff like that, because there's terrible stuff on Twitter. And then TikTok, you got to dig through all the women who are showing their hoo-ha and their tits and all that kind of stuff and clapping their cheeks and all that. And then there's a few guys that are mechanics, and then you'll actually find some news and stuff of what's going on overseas and whatnot. Hair juice or hemp cigarettes are nastier than tobacco. It's like smoking a bowl of seeds. I don't know anything about it. I'd just stay away from all that stuff. I don't know. It's all better than smoking meth though. So I haven't heard anybody say, well, if you just do a little meth, I'd be so disappointed. I wouldn't even want that influence on my hooligans. I'd probably have to ban that person. Be like, no, we got a meth head in here. We're gonna have to help them out before they start setting up a homeless encampment. Let's see, Jeremiah, TikTok's full of pedos. Yeah. Oh man, I can't say that word. Hopefully I survive that. Yeah, there's a lot of predators and stuff, and unfortunately there's a lot of people who allow their kids on there at all, let alone making videos and stuff like that. So yeah. Roy, the only social media I've ever used is YouTube, Rumble, and Pinterest. I've never used Pinterest. I know what it is, but it's too calm. I need chaos. I need like chaos on my phone, or I can't hold my attention. What's up, Flowers? Happy freedom. What's up, Jason? Chris, remember the pot with all the seeds and stems? That's the brick that used to come from across the border. they have trouble with that now because over half of America is legal weed now. Now the weed's so good, like, people don't even want it. They're like, it's just too good. It's like having a cheeseburger that just tastes too good and just puts you into a coma every time you eat it. Like, man, I can't even go there. Their burgers is too good. That's how the weed is. What's up, Finn? Dominic, vintage weed. Yeah. You know, somewhere people probably got some stored to break out brick just for old time's sake, just for tradition purposes. Jeremiah, TikTok is a adult content site. It is now. It is now, and I've been saying this for a couple weeks now. There's a trend where women are either taking like a mirror, or they'll have a door cracked and they'll be on the other side of the cracked door and exposing themselves, and it's like in a sneaky way where the algorithm can't catch it, but you're exposing yourself to children. Like, that, there's children on the app. Like, why is that okay? Because women are hot? Like, is that why? Because I don't think kids should see any nude adults, no matter how hot they are. That's not for kids. And you don't see these women getting taken down for CSC offense, you know, as offenders. They just let it go. They're like, oh, well, you know, women, they pull their tits out when they get drunk. It's just okay. No, it's not. That's not okay. You do not expose yourself to children. It doesn't matter if you got a wiener or not. But then yesterday I seen the first video where I seen a guy doing it, where he exposed himself and got away with it, and everybody in the comments is putting the heart emojis and stuff, and I'm like, this is not okay. Like, this is not okay. You cannot expose yourself to children. It's not all right. It's messed up. What's up, Nomad? Happy freedom. Christy, too strong, afraid to smoke it. Yeah. Yeah, some people don't like it. There was a lot of older people that I was hearing, like, saying they don't like to buy from the dispensaries because it's too strong. They go and get weed from the dispensaries and then they just leave it on the table and look at it. Be like, I can't, how do I water it down? Like they do in like Norway and all those countries over there. That's what a spliff is they put tobacco in their weed to make their weed come down a little bit because it's too strong. I'm like, I don't know. None of this sounds like a good idea to me. Here's what, drugs are cheaper than food. That's unfortunately true. Dominic, I grow for a living, so I can't stand the bad leafy crap. Yeah, I was running a few grow ops for like 8 years, so now I'm all hoity-toity about it. I'm really judgy about people's weed. Really judgy about it. Salty Sabbath, the app's made of old perverts and kids. Yep. I gotta watch that stuff. I'm so used to talking about predators because I can't stand them, and I think they should be just eating freedom seeds. But you can't talk about that stuff on YouTube because they want to protect those people. Eric, weed is medicine, not really considered drugs anymore. It depends which conservative you ask. Conservatives is who is against drugs, and really nose in the air conservatives are the ones who consider weed a drug. I think the majority of just the public, without any titles added onto it, could care less about weed. Weed's never killed anybody. So I think we got enough with the border going on, and the meth problem, the homeless problem, the fentanyl issue. Weed is like down on the list, even for people who consider weed a drug. I think most people just don't care at this point. But man, I can't tell you how many interactions I've had on Gilded, in Discord, and here on YouTube where people are like, oh my god, you guys have smoked weed before? Oh, I thought you were a different kind of bunch over here. I thought you loved America. I'm getting up out of here, and just, I don't know, announcing their departure. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like one day in Discord, people were showing their goods. They were like, oh, it's wake and bake, blah blah. This is what I'm smoking right now, and I don't care. It's the general chat. It's where people can talk about whatever they want to talk about, as long as it's nothing terrible. and against community guidelines. And it's not against community guidelines. So I don't care if you're showing off what you're waking and baking and stuff. It's better than smoking meth. I'd rather you smoke weed than smoke meth, crack, fentanyl, any of that. So it's like, don't matter to me. Oh my God, the emails I was getting. Oh, you're running a house full of potheads. Guess so. Don't hurt yourself on the way out. Like, Jesus, I don't want to control everybody. I just want to hang out with everyone and hope everyone has a good time. Network with people, you know, just be a person, not trying to control everyone. Dominic, I'm forcing my girlfriend to listen to you. What's up, Dominic's girlfriend? Just try to enjoy it. Just try to enjoy it. It's good to go. Let's see. Jason, my kind of party. Yeah. Hair juicer. Oh, I don't know what that is. They have new... Speaking of TikTok, I seen earlier today that they have new filters. They got Mario and Princess Peach and all this stuff. And it's kind of like a this or that. It shows two pictures of the same character. Like, this is old school Mario, this is new school Mario, and it's just an image. And when you have the filter on, you like lean the camera or whatever to pick one. And when you do, the other one flips to an adult photo of Mario. Like Mario with his goods out. I'm like, oh my God. It's like every day TikTok gets a little bit worse. It's rough stuff. Finn can't do social networks. Yeah, social media is overrated. Like when we were just showing that video about TikTok ban and they were showing the person's phone and they were like scrolling through, all the apps were social media apps. And the first thing I think about when I see that is we don't need that many social media apps. We just need a good one, or maybe like two good ones where we can communicate, we're not being censored, we can post stuff and network with each other and just not get labeled, oh, these people are extremists, these people are bigots, these people are whatever. I hate that. People just want to hang out and troll. Lots of trolls. Always. No matter how right you are, no matter how good you do anything, there's always somebody that doesn't approve. Dominic, Washington is a commie crap hole, but we grow decent buds. I mean, you gotta take the good with the bad, I suppose. My chat just reset. Now I'm trying to get back to where I was. Christy. I don't like the clothes for women and girls today. Not enough material. Rides up and down and shows every crack and crevice. They're flat out ugly. Big girls shouldn't wear stretch pants. Too much on display. Yeah, as a man, I'm not allowed to talk about what women can and can't do and stuff, but I know that fathers do not feel real great when they buy clothing for their little girl and it's like crop tops and all this stuff, and it's like, yo, kid's a kid. I don't want my kid to look like they're going to the club, you know, stuff like that. So it's, I definitely see what you're saying. You're the first woman I've seen actually talk about that, but yeah, the same. I feel the same. I think there should be more of a selection. It shouldn't be just making women look like strippers and stuff. And somebody's gonna have a problem with that. Somebody's going to. They're gonna be like, oh, just because I dress like this doesn't mean I'm a stripper. Okay, well, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. I don't know. 'Tis what 'tis. Let's see. Matthew, you hate on coffee? I mean, yeah, it's true. Coffee's a drug too. Salty Savage. Just say that you want to send them all to a deserted island that happens to have very active volcanoes on it. Yeah, there you go. That's what we're talking about. Matthew, it's a weed. God put it here, but God gave you a sound mind, body, and soul. So anything you do that alters your mind, your body, or your soul is a sin. That's the direct argument to people who say that. When you're fighting against religious people and they're like, you know, you're like, what do you mean? Weed was given by God. That's the deal. Same thing with wine. And it talks about drinking wine in the Bible. You're not supposed to become drunk. You're just drinking wine because the water is not good. It's not good to drink biblically in all places, so it was easier to drink wine, but it was not to get drunk. It was to to drink, to have something with your food, to accent your dish, things like that. But as soon as you drink too much and you start getting drunk, you're sinning. Sometimes you'll see people who believe in God, you'll see them drink a beer or something like that. It's because generally a beer isn't enough to alter your mind. But it's between you and God. I don't care what people do. As long as it ain't meth in my house, I don't care. Fair enough. Like, I know somebody was over on Rumble the other day. Jeff's so controlling. Yeah, I don't want you guys smoking meth in my house. I mean, go ahead, tell everybody I'm a terrible person, but you know, my rules stand. Here's what. Are you allowed to say maps on YouTube? Yes. I believe so. Can't talk about most things. Can't talk about most things. I'd be here all day trying to figure out how to list all the words I can't talk about. What's up, Ohio Kyle? Happy freedom. Thank you so much, Dominic, for that $5 donation. I appreciate you. Thank you. Buy yourself some more freedom. That's awesome. Let's see. Just reading through the chat. Cinna. My niece works for TikTok. She censors content. She's second tier of screening, and they have an offer counseling them. Interesting. I'm trying to think where... Well, she probably works remotely. Because they have like a headquarters somewhere here in the States. I can't remember where it is, though. I want to say like Oklahoma or something like that. Jason, you crack me up. What's up, Secretary's dad? Happy freedom. Bobby, no meth? F that. I'm out of here. I thought you believed in freedom. Should be able to smoke meth wherever I want to. It's like that movie, This Is the End. He's like, I'll ski wherever I want to. I'll skeet over here. I'll skeet over there. It starts sounding like a Dr. Seuss book. I love that movie. It cracks me up. Secretary's dad, I'm gonna sin after I eat lunch. That is funny. That is funny. At least you're with it. Just be honest with yourself. That's all you can do. I know it's a hot day today. I might be sinning later too. Thank you so much, Soul for Real, for continuing the membership program for 4 months. You're officially a hooligan, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see. Oh yeah, and the person that said I was all controlling on Rumble, they comment on all my videos every day after we're not live. Apparently I can ban you from the chat, but I can't prevent you from commenting under my videos. So he shows up, he's like, hey everyone, come check my links out. I'm like, dude, get off my page. Banned. Some people just become obsessed. Let's see. No mandates. Had to go on a Freedom Seed hunt yesterday. Supply is low, but I got them. It's good you got them. So they're kind of hard to find around here. If you do find them, you're only allowed a box or two per day. And you're paying $25, $30, $45 a box. It's rough. It's rough stuff. Dominic, I'm drinking a PBR right now, but it was brewed with holy water. It's canceling itself out. You're good. You're good. Just explain to God when you get there. He'll understand. He knows what's what. Lisa, it's use, not abuse. Yep, it's true. Salty Sabbath, yeah, I suppose that's true. Alright, we're going to be moving on to this next video here in a second. Like I said, I'm trying to not race through the live today because there's only like 4 or 5 videos for YouTube, and then I got like 6 or 7 videos for non-YouTube platforms. So that's why I got Rumble pinned to the top of the chat over on YouTube. That way when it's time to move over to these other platforms, you guys can do so easily. Tom, gonna have to spend about $3K. Part of my roof got messed up in this last big storm. Insurance won't cover it. It's messed up. That's the only thing I like about living in an apartment. It's like if the water heater goes, well, we don't have that, but if the boiler goes, it's not like I have to do anything about it. But I wish I had the other freedoms. Like if I could afford a generator, I could hook one up. If I wanted an air conditioner, I could throw it in the window. I wouldn't have to take all this crap from everybody that runs this place over here. And what makes it kind of suck where I live is the people who run this place don't run it on site. They run it on the other side of the state. So anytime there's questions or concerns, I have to make a call to Detroit, like 6 hours away, and then, you know, nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. Serum, I'm back. Meeting was a complete waste of time. Well, welcome back, Serum. Man, you crack me up. Alright, so this next video is titled U-Haul Truck Crashes into Barriers Near the White House. This is like all over the news. It's a huge psyop.
Overnight tense moments in the
I can't remember if this happened last night or this morning, but I know it's just all over the news. They want everyone to see it. Everyone come look. There's white supreme pizza over here, even though it doesn't make sense.
Overnight tense moments in the nation's capital. Police say the driver of this U-Haul truck rammed into security barriers protecting Lafayette Park just yards from the White House in what may have been an intentional act. Video then shows the truck ramming the barrier a second time.
I think at first I was just in shock.
This was Benjamin Berger's first night in D.C. He says he heard the crash and then saw people running.
Thought maybe it was just an accident. And then the U-Haul backed up and rammed it again. And at that point, it didn't move. And then that's when the Secret Service police converged on it.
Another witness was walking in Lafayette Square at the time.
And the truck cut right in front of the path that I was going to take onto the sidewalk. So this was probably no more than 25 feet in front of me. My first thought was a medical emergency.
The driver is in custody and facing charges. Sources tell ABC News the truck has been cleared for explosives. Reuters later captured this image that shows a Nazi flag and backpack being removed from the truck. Overnight, Secret Service cordoned off a multi-block perimeter surrounding the White House and park. The Washington Post reports the historic Hay Adams Hotel was even evacuated at request of Secret Service.
The driver is facing 5 charges, including assault with a dangerous weapon, destruction of federal property, and threatening to harm the president. No word this morning on a motive.
Watch breaking news on YouTube.
Assault with a dangerous weapon. He assaulted the gate. I don't understand. I don't understand, but I got a picture of the individual right there. That's the driver of the U-Haul. Why do you have that flag? You think he was like at the meetings with his bed sheets? Does he seem like that kind of guy? Because that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that this is the driver of the U-Haul. He was ramming it into the gate at the White House, and it was full of racist flags and stuff, and that's all that was there. It was just him, the U-Haul, and racist material. I don't know. I think that's I don't know. That's a tough one. It seems like a gigantic psyop to me. 24/7, ban those assault U-Hauls. We gotta get them out of here. Yeah, I don't know. There's just, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. They try so hard. They keep having Patriot Front show up. Now the U-Hauls are racist themselves. I don't know how U-Haul is going to recover from this political damage. They're probably going to have protesters in the street trying to cancel U-Haul. I don't know how people are going to move anymore, considering we're not allowed to be friends because, you know, it's going to kill grandma or whatever. I don't know. It's just nothing makes sense anymore. We might as well just do whatever we want. We're getting there. What's up, Leonardo? Happy freedom. T-Law and propaganda. Yeah, I think it's a big psyop. People aren't falling for the Patriot Front stuff, so they got to do something more active. They got to try and slam U-Hauls into stuff. It's still a connection to Patriot Front, so it's like, I don't know. You know, using the U-Haul, not the guy we just had on the screen. I don't know if they didn't expect him to get caught or what. Maybe the feds will come pick him up. Yep. White Supreme Pizza. That's what they're saying. That's what they're selling. That's what they're selling over at the White House. Like I said, that's all over the news. I probably passed 20 different videos about all that stuff. I was like, I just need one, thank you. Just pick it off the list there. Jason, bunch of glowies. Yeah. Nanner Nose looks like Antifa to me. He does kind of have an Antifa look. But yeah, I think it's the Fed boys that put him on the mission. Harley, TikTok suing is laughable. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna gain any traction. Ohio Kyle, why'd you stop at the press briefings? Because I don't like listening to Mr. Hot Dog Fingers. I can't think of his name. Is it Kirby? Yeah, Kirby. But now that you mentioned that, I was supposed to show that at 2:30, and now I'm looking and it's 3 o'clock. Hopefully she's really late.
It took a little bit to get.
No. Yeah. We're late. We're about 24 minutes late. We'll go ahead and show this. We did stop showing the press briefings because I can't stand listening to Kirby talk. He's not the press secretary. I don't want to hear him talk for 45 minutes. He only talks about what happens overseas. And I don't care what happens overseas. I care about what happens here because it's not being taken care of here. I live here. I got to deal with the people here. I got to deal with the crime and the border and the fentanyl and the crackheads and all that. I got to deal with that here. I ain't got to deal with the stuff overseas. We'll worry about overseas when we get stuff straightened out here. You can't pour into others if your glass isn't even half full. So that's why I stopped doing it. But then people want to see it. So we're going to cover it. I had planned on covering it. I got sidetracked. We're talking about don't smoke meth in my house, and I just went off on that rant. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started. We're 25 minutes late. It is still live. I don't think Kirby's making an appearance. Pretty excited about that. It looks like we're working with Jacqueline today. We don't have Peter Doocy, but that's all right.
Gonna get the day right. Happy Tuesday. And for those of you who are jet lagged, I feel your pain. Okay, let's get going. The President and Speaker McCarthy had a productive meeting yesterday about the need to prevent a default and avoid a catastrophe, for our economy. They both reiterated that default is off the table and only way forward is in good faith and toward a bipartisan budget agreement. While areas of disagreement remain, the President, the Speaker, and their teams will continue to discuss the path forward. Over the past week, the President's negotiating team has proposed options to reduce the deficit that both parties can support, while also making clear that there are fundamental priorities that must be protected in this process. Everyone understands that the consequences of a first ever default would be severe for the American people and the American economy. It would wipe out as many as 8 million jobs, trigger a recession, devastate retirement accounts, increase costs, damage our international reputation. All of this would undermine the historic economic progress we've made under this president this past 2 years. 12.7 million jobs, 3.4% unemployment rate, a made in America manufacturing boom, $1.7 trillion in deficit reduction, which is a record. America is not a deadbeat nation. We pay our bills. We have never defaulted in our history, and we will never. Lastly, President Biden has made tackling the mental health crisis, particularly among our youth, a top priority. Sadly, there is undeniable evidence that social media has negatively affected youth mental health. Research shows that anxiety, depression, sadness, and suicidal thoughts are on the rise. Today, during National Mental Health Awareness Month, the Biden-Harris administration is announcing the development of a new interagency task force on kids' online health and safety, and a series of additional actions from several agencies to safeguard children's privacy, mental health, and safety online. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy also released a new advisory on social media and youth mental health that calls on policymakers, technology companies, researchers, parents, and young people to work together to make social media safer for kids. These new administration-wide actions will help advance President Biden's national strategy to tackle the mental health crisis and protect the health and well-being of our nation's young people. As we continue to mark Mental Health Awareness Month, the Biden-Harris administration remains committed to ending this crisis and ensuring everyone can access the care they need to live full and happy lives. With that, Chris, you want to kick us off, please?
Yeah, a few questions of the budget negotiations.
Sure.
Republicans have said the White House has shown a lack of urgency around negotiations. We're 9 days from the end of the month, and under House rules, it could take 4 days to get a deal on the floor for a vote. The Speaker wants a deal to be cut this week. What is the White House's deadline for reaching a deal to get it for a vote in time?
So look, as I stated, the conversations, as the Speaker has stated, as we have stated, have been productive, which is important. Clearly, that we're moving forward. As I think just moments ago, the team from the White House who were on the Hill for the budget negotiation, that just ended. They met for hours, and so they're going to be returning and clearly give the president an update. But look, this is urgent, but this is not political. This is about doing the work and the business of the American people. This is something that we have said over and over again for the past 5 months, that this is for Congress to act. This is their constitutional duty. So we've been very clear, and we've shown urgency from here. And look, we think Republicans saying that the White House is not showing any urgency is a ridiculous question, is a ridiculous statement for them to be making. And so we've been saying this for months. Congress must ask. Congress needs to act. And we'll continue to lay the line on that.
So oftentimes when these meetings happen, the White House or other parties call them productive. That's the word is often used. But can you say that we're actually closer to a deal now than we were last week?
So what I can say is reiterate what the President and the Speaker said. The Speaker said this yesterday, that the conversation yesterday was productive. And I think that's important when you're hearing that. And these types of negotiations, as we know, are very difficult, right? Negotiations, this is nothing new. They are incredibly tough. And so when you hear it from both sides saying that they're productive, I think that's an important statement. I'm just not going to get into any further details.
And the last question is, the Treasury is looking for ways to delay certain payments. Is the administration trying to push back the X date? Is there potential that a deal won't be reached and you're going to need to kind of juggle these payments to make things happen?
Anything relating to the X date or that is concerning how to move forward here as it relates to that, I would refer you to the Treasury Department on their communications with agency. That is something that they would certainly lay out. As the Treasury said yesterday,
she kind of looks like a wet dog.
Information about inflows and outflows to the government so they can continue to produce an accurate forecast for Congress of when cash and extraordinary measure expire. So this sort of communication is actually consistent with prior debt limit impasses. So that is something for sure that the Treasury Department will have more to share on. Go ahead, Mary.
Thank you. We keep hearing these optimistic statements. You've noted, the meeting was productive. But we aren't seeing any actual progress. In fact, the Speaker just said we are nowhere near a deal. So why the optimism?
Look, if everyone is working in good faith and recognizes that no one is going to get, either side is going to get exactly what they want, we'll get it done. That's the way we see this. Coming out of the meeting yesterday, we said this, the president said this, both the president and the speaker reiterated that default is off the table. So now we have to do this in good faith. We have to move forward. I believe the team has been meeting for a couple of hours this morning. As I just said, they just ended their conversation from this morning. They met until late into the evening last night. So that is important. That is good. We're seeing movement. I'm just not going to get into specifics of where we are. We believe that this should get done as soon as possible. And again, they've been productive. We've heard that from the speaker. We've heard that from the president. The meetings continue to occur and happen on the staff level, and we're happy to see that.
I think we're just trying to understand what does productive mean, though. I mean, do you agree with the speaker that you're nowhere near a deal right now?
Look, I'm going to let the speaker speak for himself. What I can say is, and what the president, and reiterate what the president has said, I have not gotten a download, obviously, from this morning's meeting. The president's going to get certainly an update from his team, his negotiation team, once they get back, and there's a moment to do so on the president's schedule. From what I know, from what I can tell you at this moment, the meeting that the president had with the speaker yesterday was indeed productive, and we're going to continue to let the staffers, the negotiation teams continue to have this conversation and meet.
And just one more. What do you say to Americans who see that we are 9 days out and they are genuinely, concerned and worried about how this will impact them? How worried should Americans be right now?
Look, this is something that the president has been saying for months, for 5 months now, how it is important for Congress to act, how it is important for them to do their constitutional duty, is to deal with the debt limit. We've been very clear because we've laid out, I just laid out at the top, what this could trigger if we don't indeed meet that X date that the Treasury Department has laid out for not just for us, for all Americans. And so, look, if you're thinking about millions of Americans losing jobs, yeah, that's concerning. A potential triggering of a recession, yes, that's concerning. If you think about how this would take back all the progress that we've made in the last 2 years with this president. We think about 12.7 million jobs. We think about unemployment at 3.4%, which is the lowest that we've seen in history. All of the gains that we have made to get...
She's just lying.
...on its feet. Yeah, we can see that go away. So that's why the president has been meeting with the leaders in Congress, and specifically yesterday with the speaker, and having that conversation to continue to show the urgency that we have. But it's been for 5 months. 5 months that we've been saying this. Steve.
Does the president plan to talk to Speaker McCarthy today?
I don't have any calls to read out to you for the president to speak to Speaker McCarthy. I can tell you for sure that he will be getting a download from his negotiation team once there's a moment on his calendar to do so.
Representative Patrick McHenry said last night that nothing is agreed to until everything's agreed to. Is that your understanding as well?
So what I'll say is this, and this is what I've been saying for the past couple of days. I said this when we were kind of on the other side of the world doing a press briefing for all of you in Japan, and we have said negotiations are very hard, they're very difficult. Both sides have to understand that they're not going to get everything that they want, and what we're trying to get to is a budget that is reasonable, that is bipartisan, that Democrats and Republicans in the House and the Senate will be able to vote on and agree on. So this is the process that's why we're moving in this way, to make sure that it's bipartisan but also reasonable. And so that's what you all can look forward to.
Has there been any more discussion about the 14th Amendment?
Look, the president's been very clear about this. He's spoken to this. It is
super clear. I'm gonna get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Deal with the problem that we're currently having at this moment, at this time. What we need to focus on is Congress acting, is Congress doing their constitutional duty and dealing with the debt limit. Okay, Chairman.
Thanks, Karine. So we are 9 days away from the U.S. potentially defaulting, and as was previously noted, it's going to take several days for legislation to actually get passed through the Congress. So at what point, how many days do we have left until we are in full crisis mode?
So look, the Treasury Department has laid that out. They put out an X date. That's something that I would refer to them as far as what does that look like and the specific and any information. What I can tell you is what we're going to continue to do here every day. Our team, our negotiating team, is going to, on a daily basis, multiple times a day, have that meeting and conversation and discussion with the negotiators on the Hill to get to a budget budget deal, a bipartisan deal that is reasonable so that the House and the Senate, Democrats and Republicans in both chambers can vote on and deal with. So that's our promise. That's what we're going to deal with. As far as what's going to happen and the specifics, that's something that the Treasury should deal with and speak to.
I understand that, and obviously the date could potentially move slightly based on the Treasury's estimates. But for the markets that are watching, for Americans who are waiting for their Social Security checks, for their veterans benefits, who are waiting to see what's going to happen, can you provide them a sense of how much cushion you have? How many days before that X date do you actually need a deal?
That is, again, for the Treasury Department to speak
to. For them to determine the date, but for how many days you need to get legislation?
Any contingency, anything that's related to that is for the Treasury Department to speak to. What I can speak to is this budget negotiation, and what we have been doing, what we have been calling on Congress to do for the past 5 months is to act. And so we're going to continue to have those conversations. We believe they've been productive. We believe there is a space and an opportunity here to have a bipartisan, reasonable budget agreement that, again, the House and the Senate can vote on, and that we can get the business of the American people done.
And on the specifics here, the Speaker and his team have said that the federal government needs to spend less money next year than it is spending this year, meaning that they need cuts, not just a freeze in the way the White House has suggested. Is that a red line for the White House, or are you guys willing to entertain a budget for next year and the coming years that is less than fiscal year 2023?
So look, Jeremy, I'm not going to negotiate from here. I'm going to let the negotiation team speak to that. The president was very clear on Sunday. We put forward a proposal that cuts spending by more than $1 trillion. That is on top of the budget that the president put out on March 9th. That showed more up to nearly $3 trillion more in budget dealing with the budget cut to cut the deficit, to be more specific, and that was in his budget. So he called for another $1 trillion on top of that. And so, look, that's where we are. I'm not going to go into the details or the specifics from here, but you heard directly from the president on Sunday, and that's what he laid out.
And then just quickly, just wanted to ask you for an update on the situation that happened last night at Lafayette Park. A U-Haul crashed into the bollards at the north end of the park just before 10 p.m. Can you tell us how quickly the president was informed of the situation? Was he moved to a secure location? Were any protective measures taken?
So look, I can tell you this, and I want to be really careful here. This is something that the Secret Service, I would refer you to for any information that they can share, specific information. That's where they would share that. I can share with you that the president was indeed briefed. He was briefed this morning on what's known by Secret Service and the Park Police. Thus far, he's relieved that no one was injured last night, and grateful to the agents and the law enforcement officer who responded so quickly. Again, I would refer you to the Secret Service.
He wasn't informed last night?
I can tell you, right, he was briefed this morning. That's when he got the briefing from both Secret Service and the Park Police on what they know thus far. Clearly, the president was here yesterday working at the White House, so of course he was here last night. But I can tell you that he was briefed by both the relevant agencies, if you will, law enforcement agencies who had to deal with this situation, and he's very thankful to them for their quick response on this particular issue.
Just to be clear on timing, is any date before June 1st, in your eyes, good enough to get this thing done?
Look, we have to get this done. That's what I can tell you.
The question is like Friday the goal,
You're
Saturday
asking
the
me
goal?
for a date. I'm not gonna get into dates. What I can say, there's an urgency. We want to see this done as soon as possible. As it relates to the debt limit, the teams are going to meet on a regular basis, multiple times a day, to deal with the budget negotiations. And this could be, done today.
I guess the reason I ask is because there have been ramifications before. We've witnessed this back in 2011. It went down to the wire. They still beat the X date. They still got the debt limit raised at the last minute. But then days later, the credit rating was downgraded. How confident are you that, given the dysfunction we've witnessed here, it going down to the wire, our credit rating would not be downgraded?
Look, this is why the president for the last 5 months has stated how important and how critical it is to get this done, how critical it is for Congress to do their constitutional duty. This is why you have heard an echo from here over and over, and a repetitive one, of how we think and believe this should have moved forward.
It didn't happen. So how confident are you that it wouldn't be downgraded?
Look, from what we see and what has been happening in these budget negotiations, in these conversations, we see these conversations moving in a productive way. That is important, and we'll get there. It has to be a bipartisan, right? It has to be a bipartisan, reasonable budget negotiation.
Let me ask you, yesterday we heard from Speaker McCarthy multiple times, spoke multiple times in the morning, spoke multiple times after the meeting took place. We heard from the President very briefly during the meeting. For Americans that feel like they're not hearing from the President regularly, not hearing from the Vice President regularly, not hearing from cabinet officials right now, where is the messaging from the White House on this beyond at this podium?
Well, you've heard from the President multiple times over the weekend. You've heard from the President multiple times during the last 5 months. He has been very clear. You've heard from me. You've heard from others. We've had our economic team out there talking about this on your network, on other networks. And so we've been very clear for the past 5 months. I wouldn't just look at the last couple of days. The past 5 months, consistently. You've heard from this president.
Feel like it's winning the messaging war on this?
I mean, look, what we have been very clear. I know folks have asked me, about this in the past, and what we saw in 2011 is that, and polling showed this, that the GOP was blamed for that. That's how the Americans saw the outcome of the debt limit there and what was happening with the negotiations back then. That's what the polling showed. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to either speak from here almost every day. We speak from here about what's going on. You've heard from the president. You've heard from the economic team. You've heard from Democrats, the leadership in the House, in the Senate speak to this about the urgency, about Congress actually needing to act and doing their constitutional duty.
Last one is you said that if both sides are working in good faith, this will get done. Does the president believe that Kevin McCarthy is working in good faith?
What the president believes is that the conversations have been productive, and that is important. And just to reiterate this, negotiations are hard. They're not easy. This is democracy in action as we see it, as we have looked at what's been going on these past couple of days and weeks. And what both sides need to understand is neither side is going to get exactly what they want. But what we need to have is a bipartisan, reasonable budget agreement, and that's what we're working towards.
You didn't say the president thinks Kevin McCarthy is acting in good faith.
What I said is that if everyone keeps working in good faith. So, yes, we believe that that is what is happening. There is a good faith effort here. We just have to continue to do that. We have to keep doing that, and then we can get into a bipartisan, reasonable budget agreement.
Thank you, Karine.
Go to that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Wait, me or behind me?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Are the negotiators going to meet again today? The House negotiating team came out and seemed pretty down on the state of things and weren't even sure there would be a meeting. Do you have any sense from the White House side?
Since it just ended right before I came out, I don't have an update on a meeting for today. As you know, they met, I think, almost till midnight, around 11 o'clock last night, and then they met again almost 12 hours later. This is the budget negotiation team, just to be very specific here. They went up to the Hill, and they had a meeting for hours that lasted clearly more than 2 hours. I just don't have any update if they're going to go back to the Hill later today. I can tell you this, that the president is certainly going to get a download from the budget negotiation team today.
Did the president and Speaker McCarthy have an agreement to talk on the phone or in person on a daily basis? I think Speaker McCarthy implied that would happen. And so do they have an agreement? And is it going to happen?
I can say this, don't have any meetings or calls to announce, but obviously the staff is going to continue to have this conversation. They just wrapped up a conversation moments ago, and the president will speak to the speaker when it's necessary. I just don't have anything to share at this time. Go ahead.
Thank you. I know President is busy with the debt negotiations, but what is the directions or messages he has given to his team for preparing for the state visit next month?
So, as you know, the President and the First Lady are looking forward to welcoming Prime Minister Modi for the official state visit, which is, as we announced, is going to happen on June 22nd. And I'll say more broadly, as we have already shared, when we announce the visit, this will be an opportunity to reaffirm the deep and close partnership between the United States and India, and the warm bonds of family and friendship that link Americans and clearly Indians together. And so that's very very important to the president. The visit will also strengthen our two countries' shared commitment to a free, open, prosperous, and secure Indo-Pacific, and shared resolve to evaluate our strategic technology partnership, including in defense, clean energy, and space. Don't have anything else to preview. Clearly, as we get closer, June 22nd is very far away on our calendar, and so once we get closer to the 22nd, surely we'll hold background calls and have more information and more details to share.
And secondly, in Japan, when President met the Prime Minister, he told the Prime Minister that he has been receiving flooded with a lot of requests to be invited for the state dinner during those days.
Say that one more time.
I guess the President told the Prime Minister in Hiroshima when they met that he's being flooded with a lot of requests for the invitations to attend the state dinner.
Who's he?
The President.
The President. Can you just say that one more time?
It has been reported in the media that the President told the Prime Minister that he's being flooded with a lot of invitations, requests to be invited for the state dinner.
For the Japanese President to be the Japanese Prime Minister being.
Indian Prime Minister.
Oh, you're talking about India. Okay. I'm not quite. Yes, one more time. I don't know if you're talking about the Japanese
when the President met the Indian Prime Minister.
Oh, okay, Indian Prime Minister.
He told the Prime Minister that he's quite popular in the U.S. because he's been receiving a lot of requests from Indian Americans to be invited for the state dinner.
Got it. Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. I mean, I don't have a list of requests. I mean, it sounds like it was coming from Prime Minister. Okay. I mean, you would have to ask.
Being held in the dining room or the South Lawn.
I don't have more to share. I really don't. I think that's a good thing. That shows the excitement of the Prime Minister being here on the June 22nd. I just talked about laid out how the important relationship that we have with India and how we want to continue to grow that partnership, grow that relationship.
She trolling him?
To get those requests. I think that's important and shows why it is critical to continue growing that partnership that we have with India.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry, it took a little bit to get to that. Go ahead,
Thank you so much. So the president just came back from the G7, and there is no other G7 country that goes through such debt-ceiling drama on a regular basis. So how concerned is he that even if he's able to strike a deal, this will undermine the dollar's reputation, this will undermine the United States, standing on the international business scene?
Well, look, at the top of the briefing, I laid out what would potentially occur if we didn't lift the debt limit, if we didn't make the X date, and it would undermine our global kind of how we're seen globally. And so, yeah, that is important to note as we're moving forward and going through the next couple of days and trying to get the debt limit.
That even if a deal is found, that it already calls into question.
I mean, look, I'm certainly not going to get into hypotheticals from here. What I can say is what experts have said, what the economists have said, and how it is important to get this done, and how detrimental it could be if we don't deal with the debt limit in a time that's expedient, right? And that's why we have said could lose 8 million jobs potentially. We can see could trigger a recession. All of those things are real and are standing globally, right? One of the important parts of the president going to the G7 is strengthening the global economy, right? That is incredibly important. Those G7 leaders are the largest economies across the globe, and so of course it is important how we're viewed, how we're seen. We're going to try and work very hard to get this done, and but at the end of the day, we've been holding the line very strongly, which is Congress needs to act. This is something when it comes to the debt limit that they need to get done, and so we're going to continue to hold that line very clearly. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, thanks, Karine. I want to follow up on Steve's question from earlier. It sounds like the White House is now ruling out invoking the 14th Amendment as an option to get around the debt ceiling. Is that accurate?
What I can say, it is not going to fix the current problem that we have right now. Which right now, what is going to deal with getting the debt limit done is for Congress for Congress to act, and that's what we've been very clear on.
If it won't fix the current problem, that means that's not a possibility that the president. I'm not going to go beyond what the president has said. Very clear, it's not going to solve our problems.
that is just where we are. Congress needs to do its job. They need to do a job that has been happening since 1960, which is lifting the debt limit more than 78 times. That's what we are focused on. That's how we're going to move forward. Yeah, Karen.
Thanks, Karine. Tomorrow is the one-year anniversary of the school shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. Just a couple questions. Has the president spoken recently with any of the families of the victims there? And how will he mark tomorrow, if at all? And what's his message to the families and the nation at this anniversary?
So a couple of things there. I don't have any calls to read out. We don't have any calls to read out to you on any recent conversation that the president has had with the family. As you know, the Sunday after the horrific shooting, the president and the first lady went to Uvalde. I think some of you may have gone with us, traveled with us to Uvalde, and listened to the families and hear their stories about their loved one who were killed. And it was a heavy moment. It was certainly something devastating to have to for any parent to have experience. And so, when it comes to tomorrow, you can certainly expect that the president, the first lady, and the vice president are going to mark that tragic day. And we'll have certainly more to share later today or early tomorrow on what that looks like. Look, the families of these 19 children and 2 teachers, the 17 others who were injured, the entire community that is still mourning, they are in the president's prayers. And so, the president also was able to, he wrote an op-ed in USA Today where he marked the twin shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde and talked about how he believed those attacks became a catalyst for the passage of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. And while he's very appreciative of what Congress was able to do, there's so much more to be done. We need to see Congress do something more, do more, put forward some common sense gun reform. That's what these families deserve. That's what they should be able to see. And again, it was a tragic day.
Make
guns is certainly an epidemic in this country. It's the #1 killer of our kids in America, and the president's going to continue to ask Congress to take more action.
On the debt ceiling, Mitch McConnell has said that everyone needs to relax, that this is not an unusual process. Does the president agree with that?
Well, what's unusual is for our economy, the American economy, to be held hostage and to be connected in this way to the budget process. And we do not default. We are not a deadbeat nation. We've been very clear about that. We should not be headed towards a direction where we would default for the first time. But I will also say both the president and Speaker McCarthy said that default is off the table. So that is productive. That is a step forward and a very important thing to note. And so we're going to continue to ask Congress to act and to get this done and to lift the debt.
Lying makes you weak.
Does the White House see any potential in negotiating short-term rates?
That is something that both the Speaker and we have said is the Speaker has been very clear that is not on the table. And so we're going to continue to get this done in a way that should be done, right, which is Congress to act and to deal with the debt limit.
Thanks, Karine. To follow up on the 14th Amendment again, the last time the president spoke about this in Hiroshima, he actually said that he was looking at the 14th Amendment and he thought that he did have the authority, but the question was essentially whether it would get tangled up in court in appeals. And he said that's what is unresolved. So has the White House determined that there is not enough time to invoke the 14th Amendment?
So look, the 14th Amendment, as I've been saying, doesn't solve our problems. Congress must act. The president actually has said that multiple times. And understandably, the president gets it, right? He knows that any action needs to be strongly supported by the law. And I think that's what you heard from the president. Look, I'm certainly not going to get into legal opinions from here. That is not something that I'm going to do from here. But again, at the end of the day, it doesn't solve the problem that we have now.
But the last time we heard from the president, it was still on the table. Is it on or off the table?
The president also said on Sunday that it's up to lawmakers. This is up to lawmakers. And so Congress, again, must do what it's done since 1960, 78 times, which is deal with the debt limit and make sure that we are not a deadbeat nation. That is something that he said as well. But understandably, the president wants any action to be strongly supported by the law. And that's what you heard from the president. But he's also said, reiterated many times, it doesn't solve our problems and Congress needs to act.
You said today that negotiations are hard and they take time. Did the president wait too long to engage with the Republicans on the negotiations that he's in the middle of right now?
The president has been engaging or trying to engage with Republicans for months now. For months. He put out his budget on March 9th. You heard us talk about this. You've heard us lay it out. You've seen the budget, what the president laid out on March 9th. And Republicans passed their budget plan at the end of April. And then days later, that's when budget negotiation started. And so we've been clear for the past 5 months how important it is for Congress to act, for Congress to do their constitutional duty. That is
the debt ceiling. At the time he dismissed the idea, he said it would be irresponsible to do so. Given where we are, given the risks, given all the horrible things that potentially could happen, does the president still believe that there ought to be a law that caps the nation's statutory borrowing authority?
Honestly, I'm just not going to get into that right now. Right now, what is the urgent nature that we see in front of us is getting this debt limit done, which is making sure Congress does its constitutional duty and do something that has been done 78 times since 1960. That is what's urgent. That's what the American people deserve, and that's what should be happening.
One of the things he said yesterday in the Oval Office is that if there is a deal, the challenge that both leaders will face is selling it to their respective constituencies and their parties. Can you describe the outreach that's currently underway between the White House and congressional Democrats?
So I'm not going to get into private conversations, but clearly our team here, Office of Leg Affairs and other offices in the administration, and along with the congressional leaders, have been in touch with members and with certain teams clearly in Congress. Those conversations will continue. That outreach was continue. I'm just not going to read out those private conversations, but that's what I said. I said negotiations are hard, right? It is democracy in action is what we're seeing currently right now. And just as long both sides understand that neither is going to get exactly what they want, we can get to a bipartisan, reasonable budget agreement. That's what we're working towards. That's what you're seeing from the White House negotiation team. That's what you're seeing from the president, just as long this keeps continuing to move in a good faith effort. Go ahead. Okay. I'll come to the back after. Yeah.
Thank you. The tone in the last few days has been very respectful between the White House and McCarthy's team. You just said a few moments ago that McCarthy's team is working in good faith. But this morning you had House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries slamming MAGA Republicans for dangerous default gamesmanship. You had Pete Aguilar saying McCarthy's beholden to the most extreme members of his party. So is House Democratic leadership undermining the work of the administration right now?
Not at all. We are aligned with them, with the leadership on both the House and the Senate, and that continues. And we have been aligned with them for the past several months.
Does Jeffries speak for the party here?
I believe he's the leader of the Democratic caucus on the House, so I would presume that is a yes.
So it just seems like there's a bit of a divide between the rhetoric that he's using and the rhetoric we're hearing out of the White House.
Look, I think multiple things could happen at the same time. Clearly, Leader Jeffries is a partner in this, has been a partner as well as Leader Schumer. That will continue, and I'll just leave it there. I'm going to go to back.
The discharge provision, one more. Is that at all a signal that House Democrats doubt the president's ability to lead the country to a solution here?
Well, that's an extreme analysis or final kind of analysis there. I would say if you look at what the president has done the last 2 years and the leadership that he has shown in passing historic pieces of legislation, bringing the Democrats together in passing in the Inflation Reduction Act, when he brought the Democrats together to pass his first legislation, which is the American Rescue Plan, that helped get the economy back on its feet. That is a president that has led. That is a president that has continued to lead. You look at the economy has been able to create 12.7 million jobs. It's been able to see an unemployment rate at one of the lowest that we have seen in modern time. And that's going to continue if we continue to do the work of the American people, get this budget negotiation done. And here, that's at stake. The work that this president has done, that is what's at stake right now.
This tradition that would be like an end run around what the president is doing.
Absolutely not. Look, I would refer you to Congress on their processes and what they're trying to do in Congress. But to say or suggest the president's leadership is in question, I think is completely false. I disagree with that premise and certainly with that question, because if you look at the last 2 years, if you look at what Democrats have been able to get done with the leadership of this president, that is the complete opposite of what you just laid out. Go ahead, April.
Karine, two topics. On the debt ceiling, you were strategic last week in saying it was conversation. There were a series of conversations versus negotiations. That is now turned. When did that wording change and why? And what is the sticking point within these, or what are the sticking points, if you will, in these negotiations?
Can you say that one more time? What's changed? You were saying what's changed?
You were very strategic in saying they're not negotiations, they're conversations.
Well, I've always said that budget, we are negotiating on the budget. I've always been very clear about that. I said that default is not negotiable. That's what I've said. I said default is not negotiable, but that, the president has always seen this as two separate conversations, two separate discussions, and we are indeed been negotiating on the budget. That's what you've seen from the outcome of these conversations, and that's what you'll continue to see.
So how unofficially have you begun the negotiations? When did the negotiations actually start?
Well, once the House, was able, the Republicans in the House were able to pass their budget plan. I believe it was April 26th. The president invited 5 days later. The president sat down with the leaders, and they started having conversations. And then after that, you saw the budget teams announced, budget negotiation teams announced, and you've seen and you've all have reported what's been happening for the past several days.
And second topic, the NAACP has made a move, a travel advisory for the state of Florida after several issues against the other, if you will, from Governor Ron DeSantis. And they're saying that the hate that is coming out of this political season is dangerous. What do you say to what the NAACP has done? I mean, they're following behind other groups, be it groups on race or LGBTQ+, but they're making a bold statement. What do you say to this?
So I'm not going to comment on travel advisories specifically, but I'll say this more broadly, and where we have been as an administration, as a White House, we've been outspoken about the impact of misguided policies advanced by Florida lawmakers. Republicans in Florida have attacked diversity. They've attacked inclusion efforts. They've limited the teaching of Black history. And they've launched attacks on the LGBT youth, immigrants, educators, and women's reproductive freedom. That's what you have seen from lawmakers in Florida. So I'll let NAACP, I'll let LULAC speak to their specifics of their travel advisories. But this administration is going to, as we have for the past 2 years, continue to speak out against discriminatory policies pushed by state leaders across the country. And we've seen them across the country by Republicans, extreme Republicans, putting forth these policies, these legislation that hurt Americans, that take away their freedom. And so, again, we're going to continue to be outspoken. That's what we believe it is our duty to do here. That's what the president believes, and we're going to continue to call this out.
Thank you. In a closed hearing today, a Russian court extended the pre-trial detention of the Wall Street Journal's Evan Gershkovich until at least August 30th. What is the White House's response to that decision, and can you provide any updates on the administration's efforts to secure Evan's release?
So we are deeply concerned that Russia has extended the pre-trial detention of Evan Gershkovich by an additional 3 months today. We have been very clear that the claims against him are baseless. Russia should release Evan and Paul Whelan immediately, and we'll continue to be very clear on that point.
On another topic, China has said it'll ban big companies from buying Micron's chips. Why does the White House believe the PRC decided to take this step, and does the White House view it as the kind of economic coercion that G7 leaders denounced in Japan?
So, look, the recent announcement by the PRC regarding Micron, we believe are not based in fact. And so the Department of Commerce is engaged directly with the PRC to detail our views on this. We're certainly troubled by the action and the recent raids and targeting of American firms, American companies. These actions are inconsistent with the PRC's assertions that it is opening its markets and committed to a transparent regulatory framework. So those conversations are certainly, of our views, are certainly being communicated to the PRC via the Department of Commerce. Okay.
To the back.
Okay. All right. To the back.
Yeah, I'm right over here. Right? Yeah. I see you. You see me. Let's not play around.
Let's not. Okay, Mr. Two-Wit, let's go. What do you got?
All right. I promise not to use that phrase.
Social media loved it, though.
Do you mean to tell us that in the discussions between the president and the speaker, and in the discussions between the two negotiating teams, they are only discussing federal discretionary spending, and that they are not at all discussing the terms under which the debt ceiling would be raised?
What I can tell you is what you've heard from the president, what you've heard from both sides, which has been, the negotiation has certainly been about the budget. You've heard them talk about the budget. You've heard them talk about how we're moving forward, and that in this particular moment that we're in, they've been productive. The president has held the line and has been very clear that the debt, when it comes to the debt limit, it should be done without negotiations, without condition. That's something that the president has said in front of all of you. And he also said,
in the actual
I
rooms.
just told you.
Talking about the debt ceiling, about how long it would be raised, by how much. That's not a subject of discussion.
Well, first of all, I am telling you what the president has said to all of you.
I know what he said. I follow him very closely every day. I want to know what's happening in that room.
The president has spoken to what he has said to the leaders in that room, to what he has said to Speaker McCarthy in the room, and he's been very clear. And so he has said, when it comes to the debt limit, it is not negotiable. It should be done without conditions. That's what he has said, that he has been very clear.
But is he leading up to that in these talks?
Well, I will also remind you that yesterday the Speaker and the President said, when it comes to default, it is off the table. And I'll leave it there. Okay, let's keep going. Go ahead, Alex. I haven't seen you in a while.
Okay. Hi, Karine. Democratic mayors in Chicago and New York are just straining to house, humanely the migrants coming north from, Texas primarily. And it seems, at least in New York, they've run out of solutions. They seem really desperate. It seems like Chicago is more or less in the same boat. And they've pleaded for more help from the federal government. And what do you have to say to the mayors there?
So look, we just announced very recently that over $200 million to support cities this month. And we'll soon be awarding an additional $360 million. So we take this very seriously. And we would, of course, like to be able to provide more than that. But this is something that Congress needs to give it to us first to actually deal with that. But again, $200 million that we've just announced, another $360 million that we're going to announce additionally to help these cities that you just laid out. But in the meantime, I would note that the number of unlawful border crossing has plummeted since our plan went into full effect just about almost 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. And so that's because we put a plan in place that dealt with diplomacy, deterrence, and enforcement. That's what we did. And that's what you're seeing once our plan took in effect. You actually saw numbers of unlawful border crossings plummet. And so that is important because the actions that we've put forward is actually working. When it comes to the cities, we're doing everything that we can. Of course, we would want to do more, but we have to have Congress to act as well. All right. Okay.
Thank you so much. Is the guy behind me?
I'm going to take
The floor is yours, Anita, if you want.
I'm going to follow up on Sabrina's China question. When the Commerce Secretary meets with their Chinese counterpart in Washington, what are the administration's objectives for this meeting? Should we see this as a sign of a warming up of relations between Washington and Beijing? And, are they going to discuss this proposed executive order that the president is mulling over about preventing American companies?
So I'm certainly not going to get ahead of that conversation, of that meeting. I think it's going to be a very important conversation, clearly a meeting that the Commerce Department's going to have. What I'll say as it relates to the next steps and other meetings and other travel by cabinet secretaries, we've been very clear when it is appropriate, we'll certainly revisit Secretary Blinken going to China, and we've talked about Commerce Secretary going to China, and it's also Secretary of Treasury going to China as well. But when the time is right, when we feel like it is appropriate, certainly those conversations will continue, and we will re-engage on a potential travel, but certainly not going to get ahead of what's going to be on the agenda or what's going to come out of those meetings.
Question. An inquiry out of Pretoria finds that indeed a private South African company did supply weapons to Russia. So how does the White House feel about this? What could be the consequences? Is Pretoria going to be receiving an angry phone call or maybe a rap on the knuckles, changes to their AGOA status, anything like that?
So I'll say this more broadly. I'm not going to speak to an individual company here, but look, Russia is waging a brutal war, as you all have been reporting and you all see, against the people of Ukraine. And we are constantly working to cut off funding for Putin's war machine and to undercut Russia's ability to carry out this conflict. And so, as part of those efforts, we have strongly urged countries not to provide support for Russia's war, but certainly I'm not going to get into either any private diplomatic discussions or private companies from here, but we've been very clear on what we have seen Russia do to the people of Ukraine, but we've also seen Ukrainian people over the past, and this is something that the president said over the weekend, bravely fight for their freedom. And so we're going to continue to do everything that we can to give them the assistance that they need to fight for their freedom. So I'll leave it there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Speaker McCarthy said yesterday in front of the White House that the reason why we are in this problem is because every time Democrats wanted to make a deal, they wanted to make a deal about spending more money. So do you agree with Speaker McCarthy that Democrats have a spending problem?
No.
To it.
No, to it. Look, I'll say this. The president's budget reduces the deficit, as you know, by nearly $3 trillion over 10 years. Right? This is a president that believes in dealing with the deficit in a real way. That's on top of the $1.7 trillion that the president has been able to reduce the deficit the last 2 years. So the president takes this very seriously. He's proposed reducing the deficit by eliminating tax breaks for carried interest loopholes, retirement for wealthy real estate investors, and cryptocurrency. He's also proposed raising taxes for billionaires, stock buybacks, and big corporations. And let's not forget the subsidies for big pharma and big oil. For big oil, it costs about $30 billion. For big pharma, it's about $200 billion. That's what it will save if we were able to cut those wasteful spending on subsidies. So the president has laid this out. He's been very clear. Just look at his budget from March 9th. He's laid out how we can cut spending on behalf of the American people and American families. And that is on top of what he's been able to do the last 2 years, $1.7 trillion. Now, more recently, he also talked about doing an additional $1 trillion on top of the $3 trillion that he proposed in March 9th in his budget. So he's taking this very seriously.
Okay, thanks, Karine.
Okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Lying makes you weak.
Make America great again.
Well, hooligans, that was the press briefing that you guys wanted to see so bad. At least we didn't have to deal with Kirby hot dog fingers. I can't stand that guy. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. So we have one more video to show on the YouTube side of things, and then we have 4 or 5 videos that we're going to be showing on the non-YouTube platforms because YouTube has so many rules. I can't show it. Can't show that stuff. It's against community guidelines, and I can't break the rules. You don't want other people to break the rules or the laws, so don't expect me to be breaking the rules and stuff. Gotta stay on the air. So this next video is titled AI Error Leads to College Instructor to Wrongly Accuse Students of Cheating. There are a bunch of cheaters out there. I have much to say about the press briefing. Same old, same old. KJP looking like a wet dog out there lying her face off, and I didn't have to dodge Kirby's hot dog fingers trying to poke my eyeball out. So I mean, it's, you know, that's basically all I got to say about that. We're gonna move into this next video. Then afterwards, we're gonna do the spiel deal. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll drop links to get everyone on the alternative platforms. I assume most people will go to Rumble, so the Rumble link is already pinned to the top of the chat. If you just want to go ahead and make your way over there, you are welcome to do so. And we'll let everybody know when it's time to move over. But first, we're going to cover this video. AI Error Leads to College Instructor to Wrongly Accuse Students of Cheating.
The same week the CEO of OpenAI warned of the dangers of artificial intelligence,
I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong, and we want to be vocal about that. We want to work with the government to prevent that from happening.
a controversy is brewing over ChatGPT at a college in Texas. A professor at Texas A&M University Commerce is on blast for accusing his students of using ChatGPT on their final assignments. But here's the thing, many of those students did not use ChatGPT, according to the university. The firestorm started when Jared Mumm, an instructor in the Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources Department, sent his students this email, which went viral on Reddit. The email reads, quote, I have opened my own account for ChatGPT. I copy and paste your responses into this account, and ChatGPT will tell me if the program generated this content. He goes on to say that he tested each paper and that the bot claimed to have written every single final assignment.
The number one lesson that professors need to learn from this is that ChatGPT is not there yet. But I will say, it does sound like it is. It's the best thing about ChatGPT is it's very confident. It puts on this patina of credibility every time it spits something out. But if you question it, it will say, actually, sorry, I was wrong, whatever.
Ben Collins covers disinformation, extremism, and the internet for NBC News. He says he's not surprised ChatGPT told this instructor it wrote essays even when it didn't.
The technology to stop this stuff will evolve with the technology that provides it. It's always a step behind. But right now, you can't really just go to ChatGPT and ask if everything is on the up and up. It's not really there yet.
In a statement, a Texas A&M University Commerce spokesperson told NBC News that several of the students who received a 0 have been exonerated. One student actually came forward admitting to using ChatGPT, and other students temporarily have a grade of X, which means incomplete, as the professor works to determine if ChatGPT was used or not. The statement also reads, quote, the use of AI in coursework is a rapidly changing issue that confronts all learning institutions.
Now, you guys, the funny thing is ChatGPT's maker, OpenAI, actually has a plagiarism detector, but it claims that that one is only about 26% accurate. Meanwhile, we've reached out to the professor in question and have not heard back. Back to you.
Wow, it's all moving so fast. Thank you, Jake.
Jeez. Teachers out here complaining that students are using AI to fill out their paperwork, and then the instructor uses AI to try and catch them cheating and messes it all up. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. That's really stupid. That's really stupid. Did he not know the answers? I would think you'd be able to tell. When I read AI stuff that's wrote, I don't know anybody who speaks that proper. It always sounds like AI wrote it to me. So I don't know. Maybe instructors should be telling people to speak plainly or something like that as a way to tell if something is wrote by AI. AI is not going to be able to speak plainly. They don't know the local lingo for where you are. So, I don't know. They're letting AI get involved into too much. Still, I can hear KJP's in my voice, so got to clear the palate there. Klaus Daniels thought we were under attack. He just raced across the floor. It's rough stuff. Shaggy, homeschooling may be our only hope. Yeah. Not everybody's able to homeschool, but I think it's the way to go. What are you doing, Klaus Daniels? Well, come here. Come here if you're going to say hi. We're about to wrap things up on YouTube. You better come on. Nah. Jeez, big chicken nugget. He's lazy. It's hot. It's really hot in here. He's probably suffering greatly. Let's see. Just reading through the chats really quick. That's all I had for the YouTube side of things. Everybody needs to make their way over to Rumble. I have Rumble link that will take you straight to the live that we're on right now on Rumble, pinned to the top of the chat. You go ahead and make your way over there. You don't need an account in order to watch the live, but you do need an account if you want to comment in the live chat. Rumble's getting a little bit better every day. They're consistently rolling out updates, so it may not be the terrible app you visited last time. They've made quite a few improvements. But either way, before we wrap things up, what we're going to do is we're going to do the spiel deal, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, then we're going to move over to the alternative platforms to cover the next 5 or 6 videos that I have that are worth watching that I just can't show on YouTube. It's not up to me. It's their rules. I have to follow their rules. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at YouTube, because this is their doing. So when you get a second, please make your way over to the LinkTree. The LinkTree should be pinned in the description on all platforms. On the LinkTree, you can find all of my links listed. So go find Gilded. Gilded is free and currently the best way to receive notifications for when and where we go live. Every time we go live, there's a ton of hooligans in there to hang out with and chat it up pretty much every day. And we have a news board to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world, so definitely go join Gilded. Also on the LinkTree, you can find the link to the merch store if you'd like to grab some merch. We actually have 2 merch stores. One has got more spicier content than the other. But go check them both out. We have shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, and other specialty items. Everything is displayed in black and white or white and black. But if you find something you like, just click on that item to see all the different colors that the item comes in. You can also find links for PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Stripe, Zelle, Buy Me a Coffee, and Locals if you would like to help support what I do. There's also a link to the Amazon wish list if you would like to send me stuff. It's really easy to use. Anything you purchase directly from the wish list will be sent straight to me without having to find addresses, send emails, or anything like that. It's really simple. And then finally, we have links to the membership programs. We have memberships for YouTube, Gilded, Discord, Odyssey, Rumble, and Twitch. And then jeffmaclive.com has its own membership program. If you join the membership program over there, you'll have access to your own profile for our private social media area. You'll have access to the live streaming area with the built-in chat. You'll also have access to our advanced messaging system with the ability to text, call, video call, group text, group call, group video call, and upload any kind of media that's ever existed since VHS tapes. You can't upload a VHS tape. Sorry, I did the best I could. You can do MP3s, MP4s, slideshows, JPEGs, PNGs, Word documents. You can upload more on jeffmaclive.com than you can on any other website. It's the freest place on the internet. So definitely go join jeffmaclive.com. You can see at the top of the link tree there, you can claim a free week membership. No strings attached, no credit cards. We're not going to charge you after your week is up. You'll just lose access to the private area. So this is a free way for you to go see all the great things we're doing over there at jeffmaclive.com. All right, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. At the end of the Pledge of Allegiance, we are going to move over to the alternative platforms to continue on. We have 4 or 5 more videos. They're absolutely worth watching, and the last one is kind of funny, but kind of makes you want to smack your kid just in case they're thinking about doing something bad today. Got to go to the alternative platforms to see it for yourself. But before then, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, that is that for everybody on YouTube. Go ahead and make your way over to Rumble. I didn't post it in the second YouTube channel. It is right there. and it worked. All right, make your way over to Rumble. You can also try Twitch, Odyssey, Kick. You can watch on Twitter if you want to, or you can go to jeffmaclive.com and watch in a completely uncensored chat. Let's see, make sure everything's good. Everybody got the link. Matthew, you want the Odyssey link? Let me go ahead and get that ready. Odyssey. Boom. There you go. There's a link for Odyssey. Find the LinkTree link. For anything else, you want to try all the platforms, you don't want to just be stuck with one, go to the LinkTree. They're all listed. You can go to all of them. For everybody that only watches on YouTube, big shout out to you. I appreciate all the support. Thank you for everything you guys do for me over on YouTube. I appreciate all of you. I would show everything if I could, but I can't because of the community guidelines, so it is what it is. But I will see all of you on YouTube tomorrow. We will be on later with the game. I don't know if we're going to do it on the main channel. It may be on the gaming only channel, but be connected to me. Go join Guilded, or join Discord, or join Telegram, or join jeffmaclive.com. That way you are always in the loop for what's going on. For everybody else, just hang on tight. We're going to be cutting YouTube off.